Golden what?
Golden snitch.
Is that a Harry Potter?
It is.
Is that the thing that flies around and they kiss it on the
Yeah,
brooms?
Harry Potter. So good.
I don't think I've seen a full movie.
New series coming out.
That's crazy.
8 season.
TV?
TV. Going over each book.
I'm surprised you haven't seen those.
Well, I've seen a lot of some of them. Or some of a lot of
Why
them.
would you not finish them, though?
Kids.
That's a big one. Yeah, kids play into it. I do remember when I came home from my mission, I started watching the first one. And I swear for like the first 3 months that I was home, I was so tired because my body was catching up. And so I remember watching parts of it and then falling asleep. And then I woke up to the scene of this dude who has a face on the back of his head. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. This is a kid's movie? Like, this is scary. I don't want to watch this.
That's hilarious.
Oh, that's funny.
So I guess it's because I was too scared
Yeah.
to watch Harry
Don't
Potter.
blame you.
You have to watch the new season now. Books are so good.
But like,
They are good.
They're so good, right?
Yeah.
how do you find the time?
Yeah.
So many mountain bike trails to.
I'll have to audio it
That's
while
true.
you mountain bike.
Oh, you could do that.
If you can focus enough like that.
Yeah,
Without going off the cliff.
I'd probably crash. All right, well, hello everybody. Welcome to the HIG podcast today. I'm Matty P here with Bronson Gafusi. What's up, Bronson?
How's it going, everybody? Good to be here.
We're here at the Harris Financial Center in Provo, Utah, the heart of Provo, and we are very honored to have a special guest with us here today. And Bronson, would you like to do the great pleasure of introducing our guest?
Yes, I would. We have Lisa Turner here. Lisa, thanks for hopping on.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Oh man, we're excited to have you. We have been scoping you out for a while to have you on the HIG podcast around the building here. Lisa's incredible. She, just some background on Lisa. She is Jason Harris's, and everyone knows Jason on this podcast. She's his first investor, outside money that he took on. And what year? Do you remember what year that was? About 2014, I think.
2013 or 2014 around.
Wow.
There. Yeah.
It's over a
we've been
decade
investing
ago.
With Jason for a while.
So you were the first one, and you
Yeah.
are still investing with him.
We're still with him. Yes.
Oh, that's so great.
The first investor and the first employee.
And the first employee.
that too.
Harris Investment Group.
Yes, and you were the first real estate agent in the family.
No,
No.
Carrie was actually the first
Jason's
real
wife.
estate agent.
She talked you into it.
But then, as Carrie talked about it, it seems like everybody kind of followed suit because my daughter Jen then got her license. I got my license. My daughter-in-law Alex got her license. And then my husband Jim also got his license.
Oh my gosh. I didn't know everybody got their license.
We have a lot of real estate agents in our family.
And I think it would be worth noting as well that I believe it was your father, correct, who actually owned real estate?
Yeah,
And-
my dad owned several apartments, and he always said that he earned more money off of his apartments than he did as a State Farm agent. And so he would always encourage us kids to purchase real estate. And
So the foundation was set ever since you guys were super young.
yeah,
You knew what could happen.
yeah,
And now you guys are all real estate agents and investors. And
Yeah.
you're very much in the industry of real estate and investing.
yes.
That's cool. Well, for those of you who don't know, Lisa is actually the Chief Administrative Officer here at Harris Investment Group. As the Chief Administrative Officer, what does that look like? Like, I mean, I see your day to day, and I'm always kind of blown away. It's like, wow, she's working in this area. Oh, and then she's working over here. And then you're hopping on the scooter, and you're running stuff to the post office and picking stuff up, and then you're back. And then you're on the phone with this person, and then you have this other person who's in the office to meet with you. How many hats do you wear?
Well, I don't wear as many as I used to, but I do have my hand in quite a few things, and sometimes it varies what I do. I mean, I help a fair amount with mortgages for the properties and insurance. I answer a lot of emails and questions. I'm still the broker of the brokerage, and we do have maybe about 10 agents, and I help them. I mean, I still, if Jason's going to purchase something in Utah, I still generally represent him here in Utah. I mean, there are still a number of different things that I do. I help Jason with his personal loans and things like that, and tax returns and financial reporting to the lenders as well.
A lot of hats, your hands are in a lot of cookie jars,
Yes, yes.
doing many things.
I mean, I used to wear even more hats than I do now. When we first started, it was just 3 of us. I mean, I think Carrie was a lot more involved at that time as well, but we pretty much did everything. I mean, and we all wore different hats. It's been a fun adventure to be here with Jason and watch Harris Investment Group grow and help out with it. I've really enjoyed it.
Man, what was the first experience getting into real estate for you? Was it the agent side? Was it the investment side?
For me personally?
Yeah, for you personally.
Well, besides a personal home, well, actually, it probably started out when I first got married. My dad said that we could live in one of his apartments if we would manage it. And so we were able to live there rent-free and manage his apartments for him.
Neat.
And so at that point, we saw kind of how to manage and how to...
You saw the inside workings
Yes.
of
Yes.
being in an apartment complex, almost like a house hacking, but apartment hacking a little bit.
Yeah.
Where you're in it and you're getting everything paid for.
Yeah,
Because you're managed.
Yeah,
managing.
we lived there a number of years, and then when we moved, my dad got somebody else to manage, but then somehow it only took a couple years before, again, we were back managing his apartments again. So really, I've been managing his apartments almost my entire married life.
Wow.
And then in 1999, we also bought our first duplex. And
Wow.
a few years later, we were able to sell our duplex, and we used the money from the duplex to invest in a couple fourplexes. We actually bought 3 fourplexes in Orem, and most of that money came from our duplex.
Wow.
And so it was fun to just watch your money grow and see what happened. And
Wow.
yeah, it was a lot of fun. I got into investing with Jason. It was probably about 2013 or so. We were thinking about buying, this was actually before we bought those fourplexes I just talked about. I remember being in my kitchen one day and telling Jason that we were thinking about getting another apartment building. And you could see the wheels turning in Jason's head. And he came up to me and he said, "Lisa, could I purchase one of those units with you in that fourplex?" He didn't think that he could purchase his own property. So, I was kind of wondering how it would work out with him just purchasing one. But I told him that, yeah, we can check it out and see how it will work. But when we talked to the real estate agent at the time, he thought that Jason could purchase one by himself. And so he did, and we were able to purchase ours without Jason being a part, but it turned out really good.
Wow. That's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
So you opened the door for Jason.
Yeah,
essentially.
kind of.
And I want to say this was actually a really pivotal part in Jason's journey too, because up to this point he'd been reading a lot of books. He'd been dropping into classes at BYU that he wasn't really registered for. He'd been learning a lot or listening to lectures. He had this concept of real estate.
Yeah.
Didn't really know how he was going to make it work, right? But when you say that when you brought it up with him and you could see his wheels turning,
Yeah,
I know that look on Jason's face.
Yes,
Like
yes.
I do know that look. And I've heard him talk about this moment with you many times and how important it was and how pivotal and how everything kind of led up to that point where there was this opportunity.
Yeah, he wanted to be really involved, and he told me, that he would manage the property and he would do everything that he could, which that would have been nice, but it worked out much better where he was able to get his own. So,
Wow.
That's cool.
Okay, so he got his own. And then were they fourplexes near each other?
well, he got
Or-
one fourplex. It was in Pleasant Grove, and it wasn't near the ones that we purchased, but
Yeah.
it was in Pleasant Grove.
So how was that watching your son-in-law and daughter
I
do
mean,
kind
it
of similar?
was-
You guys, what you did, being a owner, manager,
Yeah.
similar path.
Yeah. Well, he at that time when he got married to Carrie, he actually moved into my dad's apartments, actually the same one that I lived in when I was first married, and that Carrie came home from the hospital in, and they lived in the same one. But when they bought this fourplex, they were able to move into that fourplex, and it turned out really well for them.
Oh, that's actually
Yeah.
really, really
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
I love hearing that. The more I hear about Jason's story, because I feel like, man, I feel like I know a lot about Jason's story, and hearing it and hearing this side of it is so fun, especially for our listeners who have listened to Jason a few times now.
Oh, yeah. And for those who didn't catch it, Jason is Lisa's son-in-law. Like Carrie is your daughter.
Carrie is my daughter.
And it's speaking about Jason talking about his story. I've heard him. We call it connecting the dots. I've heard him connect the dots looking back. That concept, you can't do it looking forward, right?
Yeah.
You can do it looking back. And he's talked about Harold. Is that your dad's name?
Yeah, that is my dad.
He's talked about how pivotal that experience was with Harold and with you and with Carrie, and how all of that really came together to give him like a real life example of everything that he'd been learning about, and kind of set the path for who he wanted to be.
Well, I think Jason was hooked on real estate right at the very beginning, right after he bought that first fourplex. He was really excited about it, and he was just really excited to purchase his next property, and saved and was able to do that. But then he wanted to keep purchasing more. So one day, which probably many of you have already heard this story too, one day he came to me and he tried to talk us into investing with him. And what he wanted us to do, because we didn't have, I guess, a lot of money to invest with him at that time, he wanted us to take some money out of our house, a home equity line of credit, and to use some of that money to go into, there were 2 duplexes that he had found that I think they were short sales, and he wanted us to go in on those with him. And he was going to do a lot of the work. I mean, we would help as well, and then we'd split the profit, and that's what we did.
And that's a big question, I think, too, for young Jason to come and talk to his in-laws about. But you went along with it. Was it an automatic yes, or was there some trepidation?
No, we're actually a lot more conservative. And so Jason had to talk to us a number of times about it. And,
It's pretty convincing.
He is. He's pretty convincing.
Well, he's convincing with the math side and the logical side, because he can lay it out for you. When you see the wheels turning in his head, and he's able to lay it out, that's very convincing. We had one of Jason's early investors, Wes Hackett, on the show, and he mentioned the same thing too. He said how there was an opportunity. He couldn't speak to it really that well. He met with Jason, him and his wife, and Jason very logically, laid it out, and it made a lot of sense.
Jason's good at that.
And it's hard to argue with logic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jason likes to get me out of my comfort zone, but I'm glad that he has. I'm glad that he has, because we've done things that we wouldn't normally have done.
Yeah.
And it's turned out really well.
A mindset almost, right? Like seeing how things kind of evolve and how your frame of mind evolves with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because before you got into real estate and joined Harris Investment Group, what were you doing before? You went kind of full into real estate.
I got into real estate.
Or full, when you joined Harris Investment Group and you really started going. Yeah, what was life like before for you?
Before I joined Harris Investment Group, I had gotten my real estate license, so I was doing
that. Was your main thing?
Yeah, and I was more helping Carrie and Jason and Jim and I. Jim's my husband. We were doing flips.
Okay, single family.
Well, not single family, sorry. We were doing apartments. Most of them were duplexes.
Okay.
So I would help with that a lot, and I would, Carrie and I both would act as the agent.
Oh, nice.
For that.
Okay.
And it was actually a lot of fun to work with them like that, and fix places up and see, you buy an ugly place and you turn it around and it ends up, looking really nice.
Yeah.
There were a number of places that we purchased that really made me nervous. One of them we nicknamed the meth house because
Oh man.
it was full of
Quite
meth.
the nickname.
And I remember telling Jason, no, I don't know if we should buy this.
Yeah.
It has meth in it. But Jason convinced me that it would work out, and it did. So
Wow. Yeah. Being able to see the potential in something it's a talent, honestly, and a skill.
That's one thing that Jason's really good at.
Yeah.
He can see the potential where sometimes I couldn't.
It's like, Lisa, you're going
And
to
he
love this.
would-
I promise. That's all.
Yeah. We sometimes would play good cop, bad cop. So as we're negotiating prices, I was usually the bad one because he would always say, my mother-in-law is just so worried about the meth and this and that. And so we were able to get lower prices, but it was true. I really was worried about it.
You're just being your true self. And it just worked out,
I
actually,
was.
negotiations.
Yeah. I love that.
Accidentally a negotiating point.
Yeah, so it helped out a lot.
Wow. So do you remember going kind of like that jump where it went from duplexes to maybe 8 unit, 12 unit, 20 unit? Do you remember any around that area?
Well, that's more after Harris Investment Group started. Yes, I'm trying to think. We did sell a few properties, and then we went into, I guess it was a 20 unit in Missouri.
Oh.
It was in Trimble, Missouri, was probably our first bigger unit. But, I mean, most of the things we bought were duplexes here in Utah, and we also bought an office space.
Okay.
So it had like 2 units. Would you call that a duplex?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know.
And business
Duplex, business duplex,
Yeah.
or
Yeah, kind of a business duplex.
wow. So I think it's important to note that what she just covered, because Jason bought went on that fourplex with you
Yeah.
on in 2010.
Well,
right?
he didn't go in with us. He
He was
bought
separate.
it himself.
Okay, yeah, he was separate.
Yes.
2010, bought his own fourplex, lived
Yes.
in it, and then he was doing duplexes with you
Yeah.
for years.
Yeah.
And then it turned into Harris Investment
Yeah,
Group.
we probably did that for maybe 4 years, maybe 5
I
years.
love that.
No.
I love that because he
It
kind of
was-
cut his teeth that way.
Yeah,
and learned
it was lots
the
of
game.
fun. And we would have nicknames for all of them. I mean, we had the train yard because it was next to a train track. We had the meth house because it was full of meth. We had the blind duplex because after I had invested with him for a while and we'd been doing this, he actually talked me into something that needed to close within a couple days, and I bought it sight unseen, which was
Blind.
really amazing for me because I really am kind of a worrier.
Yeah.
But I had
You're
developed,
methodical. You're very
I had
strategic.
developed
and-
so much confidence in Jason and I guess his knowledge in apartments that I was willing to do that.
And you let him marry your daughter.
And
There's some confidence there. There's some confidence.
Yes, that's right. So,
Oh, wow. I love it.
Yeah.
So then 5 years later, then you started about 2019.
Yeah,
is
Harris
when Harris
Investment
Investment Group
Group.
became Harris
Yep.
Investment Group, and kind of everyone. Then that's when it's really started to expand. And
Yeah.
But how cool is that? That's like 2010 all the way up to 2019. That's where the training ground where Jason really was rolling. You were just an
Learning all
integral
of this.
part of that. Yeah.
yeah. It was really fun to work with him through all of this.
Yeah. And side note, shout out to Lisa. She beat Jason in basketball.
Oh, I did. I did.
Oh, I didn't know
well,
that.
was Jason and Carrie versus my husband and I. So
Oh.
it wasn't
Oh,
just
nice.
Jason.
Okay.
I think it's
So you can hold that. You say, hey, I was your first investor, your first employee, and I beat you in basketball. And
yeah.
I beat you.
Except for Jason wouldn't like you to mention that.
That's why we're mentioning it. That's
Well,
full rematch.
It's on the
I'm
record
sure-
now.
I'm sure if we played them again, I'm sure that Jason would make sure that they won. So
Well, Jason's very competitive, but
Yes.
I mean, I know Jim's a great golfer, but I imagine I could see that transferring over to basketball as well. You give him a run for his money.
yeah. Jason kind of blames Carrie for that actually
That's
because,
hilarious.
because he thought that she would never throw the ball to him, and so she would always try to make the baskets, and Jim and I would, get the rebounds, and
You were a basketball player.
no,
No?
I wasn't.
You weren't.
No,
I
I
thought you
wasn't.
played basketball growing
No,
up.
no,
Okay.
no.
Wow. Still won. Well, Jim was a
It's because
track
Jason
athlete.
never got the ball.
Oh, Carrie was shooting it.
Yeah, Carrie was kind of a
I
ball
think
hog.
that probably depends on who you ask, but we can say that too if we want.
Yeah.
We'll throw Jason a bone.
Yeah.
I just want to know when the rematch is going to be.
We'll
I
stream
don't
it live.
think I want a rematch.
Oh, I like it. Keep the win record straight.
Yes, I would like that.
Oh, no, that's so great.
It's interesting hearing how all these early opportunities and investments that you were able to, and these adventures almost that you were able to go on with Jason, and how it's led you down the road to where we are today.
Yeah.
And this is just the work side of you. I know all your grandkids absolutely love and adore you, and you spend a lot of time. You're able to spend a lot of time with them. But
Yeah,
to
I
juggle
know.
all of that and to still be able to beat Jason at basketball.
I know, right?
Well,
Those are
that's
pretty
been
solid
quite a
wins.
few years. It's probably
Now it's
been
pickleball.
about 10 years since that game. It's been a long time.
Oh,
I'm sure that would probably never happen again. So,
oh man, I love it.
Yeah.
Well, this has been so great having our CAO on with us today. It's been fun. You shared so
it's
many
been
stories that
great.
I think people are really going to appreciate, and I love just learning and hearing about the whole thing. Honestly, it's really fun to hear from Lisa's perspective.
well, it's been
different.
fun.
Yeah, it's very unique. It's different than a lot of other people's as well. But it's always fun. It's always fun chatting with you. It's nice to have you here on the podcast finally.
Well, thank you.
But it's always a pleasure to come into work and catch up with you and hear about whatever fun thing you did with your grandkids or whatever adventure you went on. You're the backbone of what we do here, but you're also a very integral part, I think, in all of our lives in the culture here,
Oh,
which is
thank you.
important to a company. It's important to me. I think anybody that works here would say that.
Well, I love working here at Harris Investment Group. It's been a great experience for me.
And I agree with Matty P. Everything
Yeah.
you said. It's been so fun
Thank you.
getting to know you and
Yeah.
talking on the phone as an investor to then working with you and seeing you. I agree, Matty P. We appreciate you coming on the show, Lisa.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks
and we'll
for
have you on
having me.
again.
Oh, great.
So just get ready.
Okay.
One more
Sounds
question.
good.
Yeah. Well, if you have any questions for Lisa or for anyone at Harris Investment Group, just send us an email at contact@harrisinvestmentgroup.com and we'll get to you. Till next time.
Until next time, Lisa, thank you. It's been a
Thank you.
pleasure.
That's perfect. Great job, Lisa.